I know you all have heard the phrase, everybody makes mistakes countless times in your life, and maybe even said it to console someone and encourage them to not dwell on a misstep. Sometimes when you aren't listening to those inner voices and the knowing of your own purpose, you can get off track. And even when I know how to listen, sometimes if I don't listen, I get off track really quickly. Life is like a wave, and you ride it through the ups and downs, the steady times, and then you anchor yourself in the storms. A mistake is a life experience designed to move you in a different direction. And a mistake might be more important to your supreme destiny than even a triumph. Know that your life is way bigger than any one experience. So when those mistakes happen, you use them to guide you to the next right move. Learn from it. Ask, what is this here to teach me? And then let it go. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. And how do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you are having at this moment. 2020 Vision Tour. I met this reporter in Miami. We took some photos together and she said to me, Oprah, next time you see me, I'm going to be so much skinnier. And I replied, well, the next time I see you, hopefully you're going to be as healthy as you can be in that moment. Because right now, this is as healthy as you can be in this moment. And the next time you'll be as healthy as you can be in that moment. I told her to be kind to herself. And she looked at me and said, how do I do that? Well, it starts with loving right now who you are, all yourself, your flaws. Take a moment to look at what is really running through your mind about yourself that may be holding you back. The energy of the universe responds to positivity. And so if you're telling yourself you're not slim enough, you're not good enough, when that negative chatter starts in your head, stops, lean away from it. When you let those thoughts of not being enough seep in, you can't really act out the best of yourself. The power of staying present. I believe that when you're fully present, that's when you're actually fully alive. When you need to focus on what to do or what to do next, the focus is just that. The now becomes your everything. That it's one of the most impactful spiritual practices, knowing the power of now. Living integrity means living in a way that honors your truest self. It's doing the thing that you know you're supposed to do. Only you know what that feels like for you. Everything we've covered in the past several weeks. Examine any moments when your head saying one thing and your spirit is saying another. Letting go of energy that's clouding your vision and holding you back. The energy that you put into constantly rewinding to the resentment only keeps you stuck. You gotta press stop and reject the urge to keep replaying so that you can then fast forward into the now for yourself. Expecting people to do what you would do in a situation only leads to your disappointment. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. To channel your inner Dorothy and think about where you feel most at home. Practicing gratitude. It is my single most important life practice, I'd have to say. Focusing on what you're grateful for increases positive vibrations and feelings of joy. I'm never closed to new ideas, producing new television dramas for OWN, traveling, speaking once COVID loosens its noose. Age is whatever number you choose to feel. The past is gone. The future's not promised to anybody. After you've done all you can, you just stand. You deserve peace. What can you do this week to take a stand for peace in your own life and the lives of those that you love? Now would be the perfect time to ask, what are you waiting for? What's the dream that you've been putting off pursuing until you have more money or you have more courage or you have more time? You can work the nerve to take a big leap, but you cannot work to add more time to the clock or guarantee more days in your life. So all death teaches us, I believe, about life. If it's a teensy tiny step, take that step now. Don't wait. Your legacy is every life you've touched. Your legacy is every life that you've touched. And we like to think of it. I know you have done amazing things with your philanthropy. Internal strength and internal courage it takes to say, no, I will not let you treat me this way, is what success is all about. You are worthy to say no.
That it's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say no and then people don't like you. That's really okay. The important thing is how you feel about what you're doing, how you feel about yourself.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. It's just an experience. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. If you were to ask me, what is the secret to my success? It is because I understand that there is a power greater than myself that rules my life. If you can connect yourself to the source and allow the energy that it is your personality, your life force, to be connected to the greater force, anything is possible for you.
Everybody, the thing that worked for me all these years, whether it was the magazine, or which I still have, or whether it was the show, I understood that there's a common denominator in the human experience. And I want the same thing you want, which is the same thing you want and you want. What we all want is to be able to live out the truest, highest expression of ourselves as a human being. I feel that until you have used your value as a human being, you're not done.
We have to make the choice every single day to channel our own inner Jacindas, to exemplify the truth and the respect and the grace that we actually wish for the world. We need to tell it, as we're doing at this conference. We need to write it. We need to sing it. We need to proclaim it. We need to be it. We need to be the truth. We have to be the respect. We have to be the fierceness, the love that we want to see. And when we do that, mark my words, a change is already coming. Everything you try to do is already done. So when I figured that out, what I'm putting out is what's coming back. Let me get real clear about what it is I'm putting out. Before you even think about a thing, you have an intention for the thing. And that the intention is going to determine the outcome. The intention with which you give, the intention with which you serve determines the outcome. So when I figured that out, I went, whoa! I changed everything I did on my show. I called in the producers and I said, from this day forward, I will no longer be speaking to the KKK.
I started feeling like, I think everybody knows, I've moved my whole life on instinct. I feel like now it's time to let the show go. I feel like it's time to move on because I've grown as much as I can grow. When I've grown as much as I can grow in a space, that's my instinct to move.
I teach them that there is no life without cultivating a spiritual life, because you are first and foremost a spiritual being having a human experience. And if you lose sight of that, it's easy to get lost in the world, and no one can save a world that they're lost in when they've lost sight of their own North Star. It is your job to make yourself whole. Not perfect, but whole.